All right, so we've covered how the Golden Dome system is designed to see and how it's designed to think. But today we get to the really exciting part, how it's designed to act. This is the final piece of the puzzle, global enforcement. So just to recap, we know it's got the IRIS, right? That's the global SpaceX satellite network, giving it a constant, real-time picture of any threat anywhere on the planet.
And then, of course, we've got the brain, TheWarden AI. We talked about how it uses that incredible compound intelligence to pick out one real warhead from 100 decoys in under a minute.
Okay, so seeing and thinking, that's all well and good. But that begs the big question, doesn't it? How does Golden Dome go from just knowing there's a threat to actually neutralizing it? What gives this system its teeth?
Well, meet the SM-39 Razer. This is the answer. It's a proposed swarm of autonomous hypersonic aircraft. Think of it as the physical enforcement layer for all of the Warden's intelligence. It is, quite literally, this system's fist. So let's break down what makes this thing so unbelievably formidable.
First off, we're talking Mach 4. That's over 3,000 miles per hour. This isn't just fast, you guys. This is a truly hypersonic response capability. It effectively shrinks the entire globe, and it completely changes the definition of what a rapid response even is.
And get this, the proposal isn't for a handful of prototypes. We're talking about a fleet of 600 of these aircraft. That's a massive carrier-based force for the U.S. Navy designed from the ground up to project overwhelming power anywhere, anytime.
Okay, so what's the price tag? The total program is estimated at about $51 billion, spread out over 20 years. That works out to roughly $85 million per aircraft. Now, I want you to hold on to that number, because we're going to come back to it later and put it into some, well, let's just say, some pretty shocking perspective.
But here's where it gets really, really cool. There's an autonomous U variant, and it's designed to be directly controlled by the Warden through what's called neural network integration, which basically means the jets are all constantly talking to each other, sharing data, and learning like a biological swarm. The entire fleet acts as a single, coordinated organism. It can execute maneuvers that are just flat out impossible for any human pilot.
So, you have this incredible swarm. But how does it achieve a truly global reach? Well, it's not just about carriers out at sea. It all comes back to that Arctic infrastructure that we touched on in our first deep dive.
I mean, just look at a map. Greenland's unique geography turns it into the ultimate strategic high ground. And with its own dedicated power from small modular reactors, think compact, self-contained nuclear power plants, it can launch aircraft 24/7. It provides the shortest possible routes to major trouble spots, and you don't even have to risk putting a carrier group in contested waters to do. And this table, this just illustrates the time advantage perfectly. Look at these numbers. From Greenland, the Razer swarm can reach Moscow in about 2 hours, Beijing in 3. A traditional carrier group, it could take days, maybe even weeks, just to get into position. This is a response time measured in hours, not headlines. What you're looking at here is a fundamental shift in the entire paradigm of air power. We're moving away from the human bottleneck and toward AI speed. We're going from defending regional borders to providing planetary security. It's a massive leap from slow, one-at-a-time responses to a simultaneous global capability.
But the real revolution here, it isn't just about speed or location. It's about how these components, the eyes, the brain, and the fist, work together to create this incredible force multiplier effect. It's a situation where the whole is exponentially more powerful than the sum of its parts.
You know, the old way of doing defense is this slow, linear chain. Detection, then analysis, then a decision, then action. Every step is handled by a different group of people, and every single handoff just adds precious time. It stretches the response out from hours into days.
But the Golden Dome system, it just completely collapses those steps. The Warden gets the data, analyzes it, decides, and deploys the swarm almost instantly. The entire process, from detection all the way to engagement, is compressed from days into just a few minutes. This right here is that concept of compound intelligence we talked about, but now we're seeing it applied to physical enforcement. The very same AI brain that fuses all that messy sensor data to get to 95% certainty is now coordinating 600 hypersonic aircraft as if they were physical extensions of its own decision-making process.
Okay, now for what I think is the most counterintuitive and frankly the most brilliant part of this entire strategy. This is where we flip conventional thinking completely on its head.
For years, right, we've seen all these reports about the US falling behind, how China and Russia are building pipelines, deploying tech, and establishing dominance all across the Arctic. But what if that's not really what's happening?
The strategy is basically to let them build. While it looks like they're gaining dominance, what they're actually doing is building out a sensor and data network. And as soon as they connect it to the global grid, TheWarden, from its central hub in Greenland, just plugs right in and takes control. The US isn't falling behind, it's letting others build its network for free.
I mean, this quote says it all. Their infrastructure, our control. It just begs the question, right? Why would you spend billions of dollars building a global sensor network when your adversaries will happily build it for you? Every pipeline they connect, every data hub they bring online, it just becomes another node that strengthens the Golden Dome system. It's the ultimate strategic trap.
And this strategy isn't just clever, it is unbelievably cost-effective. The entire Golden Dome system is estimated to cost around $80 billion. Compare that to the lifetime cost of a single traditional fighter program like the F-35, $1.7 trillion. You're getting planetary security for less than 5% of the cost. The numbers are just staggering.
So let's bring all the pieces together now. Let's step back and look at the complete vision for this new security architecture. It's really elegant when you see it all at once. You have the eyes to see everything, everywhere. You have the brain to analyze it all instantly. And now you have the fist to respond anywhere on the planet within minutes. And it's all built on a foundation that our adversaries help pay for. This isn't just an evolution of defense. It is a completely new architecture for global security.
But of course, that kind of immense power leads to the final critical question. When you give a single AI control over a lethal swarm of 600 hypersonic jets, how do you verify its actions? How can you trust its decisions? And that is the very question we will explore in our next explainer, when we look at the blockchain supply chain that underpins this entire system.